Beyond on the Gates, March 25, 2026, spoiler breakdown and deep dive. Anita's fight, the body is losing. Let's start where our hearts are right now with Anita Dupree, played by the absolutely phenomenal Tamara Tunie. Because honestly, every scene she's in lately has been a masterclass in what acting looks like when it's stripped down to its bones. So here's what we know going into Wednesday. Anita's condition is worsening, and not just in that vague, she's going through something hard kind of way that soap operas love to tease. No, this is specific. This is brutal. And this is real. The Red Devil, that's the nickname fans of oncology storylines, will recognize for the particularly aggressive chemotherapy regimen she's on is doing exactly what it does. It's destroying the cancer, yes, but it's also tearing through her body in the process. One of the side effects that's front and center on Wednesday, neuropathy. Now, I want to pause here because I think this detail matters more than people might give it credit for. Peripheral neuropathy, damage to the nerves outside the brain and spinal cord, is one of those chemotherapy side effects that doesn't always get screen time on TV dramas. And I respect the writers so much for including it. We're not just watching Anita lose her hair and look pale. We're watching her lose the use of her hands and feet in a meaningful way. Weakness, numbness, that prickling, burning pain. It makes even the gentlest touch feel like fire. And for a woman like Anita, someone who has clearly been the backbone, the pillar, the anchor of this family for decades, having her physical capability stripped from her piece by piece is not just a medical detail. It's a psychological unraveling. Think about it. Anita Dupree has probably never asked for help in her life. Women of her generation, women who built families and communities with their bare hands, they don't sit down. They don't let people carry them. And now she has no choice. Her body is making that decision for her. And I think that loss of agency, that feeling of watching your own body betray you, is what's crushing her spirit more than the pain itself. And here's where it gets even more heartbreaking. The spoilers tell us that Anita's spirits are at an all-time low. She can't muster the strength to push forward. That sentence alone hit me differently. Because throughout this cancer storyline, Anita has fought even when it was hard, even when it hurt. She kept going. So when we're told she can no longer find her own will to continue, that is a seismic shift in her character. We are watching the strongest woman in the Dupree family hit rock bottom. And that's exactly when the family has to step in. The spoilers confirm the Duprees rally around her. And I want to talk about what that means emotionally, because it's more complex than just family shows up. When someone as strong as Anita visibly breaks, when she stops pretending she's fine, it forces everyone around her to confront something they may have been avoiding. The reality that she might not make it. The possibility that their time with her is limited. And each Dupree is going to process that differently. Some will want to fix things. Some will shut down. Some will overcorrect with forced positivity. And watching those dynamics clash while also trying to support a potentially dying matriarch, that's where the show gets its texture. I genuinely believe these scenes on Wednesday are going to be Emmy-worthy material for Tamara Tunie. Just my personal take. You cannot fake that kind of vulnerability on screen. Bill's change of heart, the most loaded 3 words on the show. Now let's pivot to the storyline I have the most feelings about. Bill's change of heart. I've had a change of heart, 3 words, 6 syllable. And somehow, in the context of Bill and Hayley's marriage, they could mean about 15 completely different things, most of them complicated, and some of them devastating. Let me back up for the people who need a refresher, because the build up to this moment is everything. Bill, played by Timon Kyle Durrett, who has been doing incredible work this season, recently had 2 deeply significant conversations that I think cracked something open inside him. First, he sat down with Anita And during that conversation, we got a rare window into Bill's painful past. We saw him as not just Hayley's husband, not just a man navigating a complicated marriage, but as someone who has been carrying unresolved wounds for a very long time. Then came the conversation with Dani, his ex-wife, played by Carla Mosley, and honestly, that scene deserves its own video. Because what Bill realized watching Dani was something that I think terrified him to his core. He saw in her eyes the same dimming, the same fading of light that he had witnessed in his own mother. The same quiet extinction of a woman's spirit that happens when she has been asked to carry too much, or when the person she loves has been the source of her pain. And the worst part, he knew he was the one who put that look in Dani's eyes. He caused that dimming. That's a devastating thing to reckon with. So now we fast forward to Wednesday, and Bill walks up to Hayley and says he's had a change of heart about their future. And the entire fan base is going to split into two camps. Camp one says he's finally waking up. He realized through watching Anita fight for her life and through confronting what he did to Dani, that he's been too consumed with the idea of having a baby pushing Hayley, adding pressure to an already strained marriage, and potentially doing to Hayley exactly what he did to Dani. And so this change of heart is him choosing her over the plan, choosing the relationship over the goal, camp two. And I'll be honest, I'm partially in this camp, thinks it's darker than that. What if Bill's change of heart isn't about releasing pressure? What if he's stepping back entirely? What if watching Anita's light flicker out, combined with his guilt over Dani, has convinced him that he is fundamentally bad for the people he loves, that his presence dims people, that the kindest thing he can do is pull away? Because there's a really painful through line in Bill's character arc this season, this idea that he is drawn to strong women and that his love eventually erodes them. If he's internalizing that narrative and the show has been laying the groundwork for it, then I've had a change of heart about our future. It might be the beginning of him emotionally withdrawing from Hayley. Not because he doesn't love her, but because he's convinced himself that loving him is dangerous. That would be brilliant, tragic storytelling. And it would put Hayley in an impossible position fighting for a man who is trying to protect her from himself. I'm obsessed with this storyline. I don't care who knows it. Lynette, the con artist in designer clothing. Okay, let's talk about Lynette, Hayley's so-called pal, played by Dominique Madison. And I put pal in air quotes so aggressively because, come on, we all see it. We have all seen it from the beginning. Lynette has been operating in the background of this storyline like a perfectly dressed chess player who is always 3 moves ahead. She showed up in Hayley's life at a suspiciously convenient time, attached herself to someone in a vulnerable emotional state, and has been benefiting from that proximity in ways that feel very calculated. The spoilers for Wednesday say Lynette gets what she wants. And I love that the description doesn't tell us what she wants, because honestly, I'm not sure Lynette herself is done deciding. She's an opportunist. She reads the room and adjusts. The question is, has her operation in the DMV run its course? Or has she found something here worth staying for? My theory, Lynette didn't come to the DMV for Hayley specifically. She came with a target in mind, possibly Bill. Possibly someone in Bill's orbit, and Hayley was the entry point. Now that she's embedded, she's assessing her options. If she gets what she wants on Wednesday, it might mean she's completed whatever task she came to accomplish, which could mean we're about to see her make an exit. Or it could mean she's decided the game here is too good to leave. Either way, Hayley is going to be left dealing with the fallout, and given everything else happening in her life right now, Bill's change of heart, Anita's illness, the emotional weight of the Dupree family in crisis, Hayley Dupree might just be the most overloaded character on this show right now. And honestly, Marquita Goings is handling it beautifully. Ted 2 seconds from chaos, as always, and then there's Ted. Sweet, brilliant, perpetually almost having a meltdown Ted. played by Keith D. Robinson. And look, I say that with so much love. Ted is one of the most entertaining characters on this show, precisely because he is never fully stable. He's always adjacent to disaster. But here's the thing, right now, Ted is actually doing okay. Like, legitimately okay. He figured out how to keep his practice running alongside Carlton, despite the obviously awkward situation of his business partner dating his ex-wife Nicole. He's moved on romantically. He's in a healthy, grounded relationship with Shanice, and by all accounts, he seems present and functional in it. For Ted, this is practically a miracle. And that's exactly why the show is about to mess it up. The spoilers tell us that Ted is about to receive advice from an unlikely source, and that phrasing unlikely source is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Because Ted is not someone who takes advice well, even from people he respects. So, advice from someone unexpected, that's either going to land perfectly and give him exactly the clarity he needs, or it's going to plant a seed of doubt that unravels everything. Who is this unlikely advisor? My guess is Carlton, which would be ironic given the romantic tension in their professional relationship. Or, and this one I'm very attached to, what if it's someone from Ted's past, someone he wronged, or who he thought was out of his life? That would fit the unlikely descriptor perfectly and would give the show a chance to dig into Ted's history in a way we haven't seen yet. Whatever it is, I'm here for it, because Ted running smoothly is fun. But Ted being pushed toward the edge, that's television. So let's bring it all together. Wednesday's episode of Beyond the Gates is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally loaded episodes of the season. Anita is at her lowest. The Duprees are being asked to become her strength when they're barely holding their own together. Bill is standing at a crossroads with Hayley that could